This is not going to be your typical how to make YouTube videos on an iPhone. I'm going to be showing you the breakdown and setup of those people who want to gain the largest audiences and make the most money on the YouTube platform while using the cheapest, easiest setups. We did a video just like this a while back, but there are so many of you out there who are still struggling with this, and we have to get it fixed today. I'm going to give you all the gear, strategies, and setup so that you can go from this to this. Yeah, that's right. With an iPhone camera, and not just an iPhone camera, the front-facing camera of an iPhone, your videos are going to be able to look this good. So let's stop wasting time. We're gonna go back to the beginning, and I'm gonna show you how to take your videos from where you're at now to this. Let's go. Mistake number one that most people make when they're starting on YouTube is that their camera angle is just too low. And probably watching this, you may even be able to identify that that is a problem, or maybe just something felt a little off. But what you need to do is bring the camera up to eye level so that you are actually looking at the camera directly straight across, not looking down on the camera like I am here. That is the first mistake that we need to fix. And so today we're gonna stick with items that anyone could have around their house that you could also use in your setup. So let's make that change. Okay, that just put a big smile on my face. Even this is so much better than the angle before. It's crazy how such a small change makes such a big difference in the quality of your filming. The next mistake that is so incredibly common is that people film right flat up against the wall and it looks terrible in most cases. And so today we are going to move away from the wall. We're going to give ourselves some distance so that we can get some depth of field. And then we're actually going to pivot, if you can, in your own home. This is going to be so much better. And find a corner in the room that you can shoot into. Let's take a look at how that looks. All right, now that I've moved a little bit farther away from the wall, you can tell that it just looks better. From an environmental standpoint, you can see that I have a little bit more depth behind me, and it's gonna give you some ability to actually decorate and make it look a little bit better, which we're gonna talk about a little bit later. But right now, I wanna talk about lighting. You can see now that where I am, the lighting is a little bit more complicated, but realistically, it's not that hard to fix. I have the overhead can lights hitting me kind of from the top down, and then we have this window right behind me blowing everything out. Really, the simplest way to think about it is finding a way to use the light that you do have in your space and make it work for you and not against you. And a part of that is we're actually going to stylize a little bit the background so that if the lighting's not totally perfect, you may be able to get away with that and everything's just gonna look a little bit better. So we're gonna fix some of the lighting here and I'll explain what we do and give a little bit more decoration to the background. All right, so I have the can lights turned off, the lights that are just in the ceiling, and then I also added a little bit of decor that I just had sitting around. It's just a frame, a photo that we had on a canvas, and a little side table with a couple pieces of decor on top. Really all this does is make your background a little bit more visually interesting, but you can probably tell right here that the lighting still doesn't look great. But turning off the top lights is usually a good step in the right direction. So now we're gonna reframe just a little bit to utilize the window light a little bit better, still having this really nice background, still being pulled a little bit farther away from the wall, but we're just gonna capitalize on the light that's coming in the window now. So I've reframed a little bit so that the light is coming a little bit more to the front of my face and it looks so much better. One extra little trick that I'm gonna show you, which is also free, is that you can use something like this. Let me go get it. An arts and crafts project, which is really just a kind of a big piece of butcher paper on some cardboard. And what I'm gonna do, let me show you, is I'm gonna put this piece over on this side of me so that it will bounce light coming in the window and it will help fill in on this side of my face. So I'm gonna sit right here and you can see that it just brings a little bit extra light into the room. It can make a really big difference. All right, here you have it. This is as far as you really can get with just free options. Utilizing what you have in your own space and just look at the difference. It's really impressive how different you can make it look by just knowing where to put the camera, how to utilize the light, and then how to add a little bit of decor. But now I wanna show you one level up. A lot of you out there have the ability and really want to start getting into a little bit more equipment. And so we're gonna show you the very bottom end of just a little bit of extra lighting. We're gonna add a couple lights in that are very affordable so that you can see how big of a difference that can make and how much more flexibility you have in your entire setup. So I'm gonna switch things up a little bit and then I'm gonna show you exactly what we're using to make this look perfect. So now I've moved back into the farther away from the window position and we're gonna utilize this, which is a panel light. These are on the lower end of lighting, but they can do wonders for your YouTube channel. We're gonna start out by using one of these panel lights. We're gonna kill the windows. I don't know if I can say kill. We're gonna close the blinds and show you what it looks like. Let's go. Now with the windows closed, I turned on the lamp in the background. I think it's actually been on the whole time, but now you can actually tell. And then I have a single panel light here, which adds some really nice and dramatic lighting. Now the cool thing is, a lot of times these cheaper panel lights come in sets of 2, which is gonna allow you to get a lighting setup like this, where you can sort of have it off to the side, do a little bit more of a dramatic look. Or if you have 2 panel lights, which most people will, you can use that second one to fill it in so that it just looks a lot nicer and a lot fuller. So depending on what style you like better, you can do both of them, which is super cool. The next level up here is to just add some more stylization, make it more stylized. And you can do that by adding additional light. So the lamp does that a little bit, but we can enhance that in a lot of different ways. So one of the ways that I want to show you is by adding what you would call a hair light. Or just like a little bit of an accent. So you can do that with an RGB light, just a little panel light, which we have just on a stand back here, but you can have it on really anything. You could suspend it in the air by however you'd like, whether it's hanging from the ceiling on a wire or whatever, but you can see that little bit of extra light just shining right there. It makes a big difference. And I have Cody pulling it right there, pulling it in and out. So Cody, pull it back away just so we can see the difference again. So yeah, you can see how it totally adds a different feel and look to the entire setup. And I really, really like that. But there are other ways you can use the RGB lights as well. You can add it as just like a color wash on the background. So let me show you how to do that. So I have the RGB light, just blinded myself. I have the RGB light on this little stand. Again, you could just lean it up on the back of your chair or whatever. And then I just have it here so that you can add it in the back however you like. And you can just shine it wherever you want to accent or highlight. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on what you like and how you want it to look. And you could use this color to sort of accent and improve the lighting of the lamp that we have, like here in the back. But you could also do other colors for other different types of accents too. And there you have it. It just looks really cool, and it adds a little bit of differentiation from your channel to other channels. Overall, what you need to learn from this video is that it's just micro adjustments that make all the difference. A lot of times, if you're really trying to improve how your videos look, how your setup looks, even on just an iPhone, which we've been filming on the entire time, you can get a look like this, and it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. So this is what I would do. Just work on one little thing at a time and just try a lot of different things. Sometimes it's shifting the chair around that you're sitting in. Maybe it's moving the light angles a little bit. Maybe it's moving your camera up and down just a teeny tiny bit. Overall, you just have to keep trying to improve a little by little. And hopefully you've seen in this video that you're probably not that far off. You just have to put a little bit of effort into it. And now that you know how to dial in your setup, what you need to work on now is your strategy. That is going to be so important for you to succeed on YouTube. So go check out this video where I uncover the secrets of the algorithm, including the new YouTube algorithm X Factor. Check it out here. We'll see you, channel makers.